Hi, I'm glad to see you today. Today I thought we'd do something that's a little bit different and we'll just have a good time. And before we get started, I'm going to have them graphically run all the colors that you need right across your screen, and you can see exactly what colors I have on my palette. And it'll come across on the screen starting with the white and going right around, the same way I have them on the palette. And today I'm going to use just a dry canvas, and we'll have some fun with that. I'm going to dip my brush into a little bit of paint thinner, and I'm going to go right into some phthalo blue, just a small amount. And I want this paint to be very thin. I'm just going to put a quick little wash on the canvas. Just a little bit of color. There we go. And this is just a little phthalo blue with a lot of paint thinner in it. It's very, very thin, and it'll dry on your canvas quite rapidly. I want a little bit of this blue color to show through my painting, and it'll make it very nice. There we go. Just cover the whole canvas with it. And there we are. That quick, we had the canvas completely covered with color, and we can start having some fun. Now, when you're doing this at home, try numerous colors. Burnt umber, Van Dyke brown, Prussian blue. All of these colors work very, very nice, and they're very, very transparent. Okay, I'll wash the brush. There we go. And let's have some fun. Let's have some fun. We'll take some titanium white, put on the knife. I'm just going to pull it out very flat and then cut across. Get a little bit of paint right out here on the end of the knife. Okay, let's go up here. Let's put some happy little clouds playing up here in the sky. And follow angles here. Angles are very important. I'm going to take a little phthalo blue and alizarin crimson, mix it together, and we'll make a little purplish color. A little blue, alizarin crimson. The blue's many, many times stronger than the crimson. Okay, let's go right up here and we'll add a little bit of shadow here and there. Don't want a great deal. We'll just drop this in. Right into the white and begin just letting all these colors just sort of play together. We'll make some great big fluffy soft clouds just floating around out here. And allow these colors to mix. Don't fight it. Let it happen. Let it happen. There we go. Maybe this big old cloud just runs right on off the canvas. This is your cloud, so you let it go wherever you want it to. And you can paint this entire painting with a knife if you want to. And it's super, super good practice to learn how to control the knife. Or you can do part of it with a knife, part with a brush, whatever makes you happy. And we just go right over these purplish colors, and some of them will bleed through and make some beautiful things happen. Here. And if you want the color to be darker, you continue to rub it. If you want it to be nice and bright and shiny, put it on, leave it alone, get away from it. See, just don't keep working it. If you keep working it, it'll get very, very dull and go away and leave you. It'll pick up all the undercolor. So you have to make these big decisions. Okay, maybe, yeah, there it is. I love to do paintings with a knife. Really, really teaches you how to use a knife. Tell you what, I'm going to take the least little amount of yellow ochre. I mean, tiniest little bit. Add a little bit of color just to break it up. Now, you don't want to get much of this yellow ochre because it'll touch the blue and you'll have nice green sky, and we don't want that. But a little bit of the gold color in the sky is very pretty. Just adds a little flavor to it. There we go. Some almighty clouds. And they're very simple to do and a great deal of fun. Okay. Isn't that easy? That easy. We got a fantastic little sky. It's very, very effective. Don't want to kill all this blue wash that you put on here. Leave some of that showing. So you have areas that are very thick, areas that are thin. Really makes your painting interesting. Okay. Now you could even take a brush and go back over this and really blend it if you wanted to. I want to leave it a little bit rough. I like paintings that have texture to them. Okay. Maybe back in here there's a happy little hill. I'll just use the same purplish color. That was phthalo blue and alizarin crimson. There we go. Now this color will look black to you. So if you want to test it, take a little white and put over here. There. And then you can see what color it is. Otherwise it's just going to look black. And that's a pretty good color. That's about what I'm looking for. Okay, let's go right up here, and maybe there lives a nice little hill. Just a little soft, gentle hill. And I'm really, really pushing that paint into the canvas. There. There we go. And then you can just very gently rub it to make it smooth. You know, when we look at knife paintings, a lot of times knife paintings are so rough that you have to be a long way off to even recognize what it is. But it doesn't have to be that way. You can make very delicate, soft, smooth paintings just using a knife. Practice with it. Okay, now I'm going to take a little permanent red, a little white, and maybe we'll put at least a little bit of highlight here and there. I don't want a great deal. We'll have our light coming from the left today. A little permanent red, tiny bit of white. Just enough to put a small amount of highlight up here. There we go. And just blend it together. Okay. Now this is just a little titanium white right on the bottom, because I want the bottom of my little hills to be a little bit lighter than the top. Okay, maybe, tell you what, let's play a little here. I'm going to use the same purplish color, but I've added white to it, so it's a little bit lighter in value. And maybe over here there's a hill that's farther away. We'll put it behind there. So it should be a little lighter in value. As things get closer to you in a landscape, they should get darker. So we'll just drop this one in. That's far, far away. And it's very soft and very quiet back here. And we can bring this one right down in front of it. Now see, this one's darker, so it stands out against the lighter one. And that easy, you can make a beautiful little hill back here. Take a little bit of the light color on the bottom. And this is just titanium white added right down to the bottom. Blend it all together. There we go. A little more of the permanent red, and we'll put a little highlight right up there. So there's a little on this hill. We don't want it to be left out. Follow your angles. Always follow these angles. Okay. Now then, let's begin playing with some little grassy areas that are way back in the back. So I'll take some cad yellow, a little yellow ochre in it, and some sap green. Looking for quite a dark green color here. Just about like so. Okay, let's go right up to the canvas here. And maybe there's some little background trees that just live right along here. And all I'm doing is just barely touching the canvas. Let these little trees just fall right off your knife. I'm going to add a little burnt umber to that color. So it's not the same all over, and to darken it down right here on the bottom. Just barely touching the canvas. There we go, a little more paint. Just let these happen. There. A little bit over in here. But it's unbelievable what you can do just using a big old knife. And try some of these. I think you'll find them very, very enjoyable. And they do good things to your heart. Make you happy. Make you happy. Okay, that'll give us some little indication of some trees that are far, far away. Add at least a little bit of white down here and begin bringing this over. So I'm just using that same color, and I've just added a little white to it, and then begin pulling it. Angles are very, very important when you're doing this. Pay close attention to your angles. There we go. Let's go right up here. Okay. As it goes farther away, let it get lighter and lighter in value. And I want this part here to look like it's far away, and this over on the other side is getting closer to you. I'm going to take a little permanent red and just very gently add a little of that here and there. Just to break it up. Little Indian yellow. It's very transparent. And just sort of work some of these colors back and forth. Make all these pretty little things happen. Okay, now over here, this is closer to you, so I'm going to add more sap green. I want this side over here to be darker. It's closer, so it should be darker. But you still need to follow those basic angles. They're very, very important. And maybe it just comes right around like that, wherever you want it to go. All right. Okay, now it's much, much darker here. And sort of blend it together. We don't want it to have a distinct line there. We just want it to gently, gently blend together. There. Okay. Now then, I'm going to mix up some black, and to make that we'll use some phthalo green and alizarin crimson. Phthalo green, alizarin crimson, in about equal parts. Just mix them together. And this color needs to be mixed together very well. Normally we don't worry much about mixing color. Mix this one very good. When you're mixing, pick it completely up off your palette and turn it over. Okay. Now then, let's go right back up in here. And we can start making some big decisions. And maybe we'll just start touching right in here. There we go. Put some water in here, so we need to define where water and land meet. This will be our little bank when it's done. Need a nice dark color to set it off. And let's take a little of that color and just work it right down into the canvas here. Just pull it down. Just like so. Okay, then we'll take the 2.5-inch brush and just grab some of this and pull. Just enough to pull it down. This will end up being some reflections in the water. And pick up some of that dark green color, all the colors, pick them up, because they all reflect into the water, and just pull it straight down. And this canvas is dry. It won't pull as well as you normally would do with the Magic White. We're just looking for some dark color in the water here. Okay, now then, I'm going to take some white and a little phthalo blue in it. White, a little phthalo blue. Pull it out very flat and just cut across. Get that little roll of paint right on the edge of the knife. Let's go right up here. Now we can begin making some decisions here where our water is. And we just lay a little bit of this bluish color right over the top of the reflections. You don't want to cover them all up, though. Don't want to lose them all. Just want to make it look like water without killing everything. There we go. Just sort of work it back and forth, play with it. Okay. Keep these lines basically straight. Water's always looking for a place to be nice and level. So keep these lines straight. And you can put as many of these in your water as you want, or as few. Either way. Step back and look at your painting ever so often. It gives you a whole different view of it. Sometimes when you're painting, you stay too close to it and you really can't see it. Step back. Okay, now I'm going to firm up these little edges here a little. Just a touch. This is just the black color. Phthalo green, alizarin crimson. There we go. Okay, let me clean my knife, and we can just very lightly bring this color right down on top of it and smooth everything out. Bring it together. There we go. Allow these colors just sort of to mix and to blend, and all kinds of nice things happen. Don't fight it. And the more you rub this with a knife, the softer and more gentle it becomes, and all the colors blend together very smoothly. And you can make paintings that, God, people almost won't believe you've done them with a knife. They'll think you've done them with a very, very soft brush. Okay, maybe, tell you what, maybe go right into some sap green. Maybe there's a little tree that lives right here. This is just sap green. I'm using the little edge of the knife. Both edges work. There we go. Maybe he's got a friend that lives right over here. And once again, you have to make these big decisions. How many trees live in your world? Drop them in. I'm going to take just a tiny bit of cad yellow now. And just put a little highlight on this tree so he stands out and sparkles. Sun's shining on him. Boy, it'd be a big, strong, happy tree out here. There we go. Little shadow area right behind the tree. Remember where your light's coming from. And just put a little indication of a shadow. Okay. Now we got to do something over here on the other side and make some big decisions. Maybe. Tell you what, let's just take some more of this black color that we have. That's going so well. And maybe. Comes right down here. Maybe there's a little projection. There it is. Comes right out in the water like that. And we need some color underneath that. And once again, I'll take this old big brush. And you could do this with a knife. I'm doing it with a brush because it's a little bit faster. But you could certainly do it using a knife. And we'll add a little bit of the water right over the top of that. This is phthalo blue, titanium white. And back to our dark color, and we can continue this. There it is, it comes right down through there. You knew it all the time, didn't you? There. And I'm just putting the dark in so the light will show. You need the dark in order to show the light. A lot of paint here. There we go. Just fill all this up. And now we can go right into some sap green and begin pulling a little bit of yellow ochre. Just sort of mix these colors right on your knife. And you can make them as bright or as dull as you want them. If you want them duller because there's black underneath, just keep rubbing. It will get duller because it'll pick up that color that's underneath, and automatically that happens. If you put yellow on top of this black color, because yellow and black make green, automatically you'll get a nice green color. Automatically. There. And maybe there's some happy little things that just grow right along this edge. Just let your knife bounce around and play. Okay. Okay, maybe, tell you what, let's have some fun. Maybe there's a big old tree here. Let's use some Van Dyke brown. I'll put a little burn umber into it. Pull it out very flat, get that little roll of paint, and maybe, yep, right there. It's a big old tree, lives right here. It goes right on off the canvas, maybe. Okay. Put some tree trunks right up through the sky. This is where we check and see if you're brave and go right through the sky with these big brown trunks. Okay, I'll tell you what, let's give him another arm. And you can put as many arms on your tree as you want. It's your tree, your world. Let it go. Maybe there's another little arm lives right there. Whatever. And just some indications. And we can put a few little limbs here and there. There might even be a little one right here. Trees just grow however makes them happy. So that's what they should do when you're painting them. They should grow in your painting any way that makes you happy. It's your tree. Okay, we'll put a few little limbs right up through here. There. Now we need a little bit of highlight on there. I'll use a little permanent red, a little burn umber. I'm going to add a little yellow ochre into that too. There, that'll brighten it up. A little bit of paint, and we said our light's coming from the left. So let's just highlight this tree on the left side. And all I'm doing is just touching. Just touch. Canvas will pull off what it wants and give you back what's left. Just some little highlights. And if you wanted to do this painting with a brush, you could certainly do all this with a little liner brush or even a fan brush. It would work very well. Okay, now then let's put some leaves on this tree. I'll go right into some sap green, and I'll add some Van Dyke brown to my sap green just to dull it down. Very dark. And maybe we'll just use a knife. We've done so much with a knife. What the heck? we'll just drop in some basic little things here and there. And once again, you could do all this with your brush. It would work just as well. Just to keep it together, we'll use a knife. And you could put as many leaves as you want in your tree. Just let them go. See, there they are. As thick as you want them, as thin as you want them. And we'll take a little bit of a light color, a little yellow with green. You can drop a little highlight on here, and we think we've about got a finished painting. The old clock on the wall says, Bob, you got to go. Got to go. So we'll call this painting finished, and I really hope you've enjoyed it. It'll give you a challenge. And until next week, happy painting. God bless.